Miss Kathy here, and I have Take Out Jesus with me, and we're going to get on a ferry. Hi kids, Miss Kathy here, and I'm taking my Jesus out onto a ferry. You know, it's really windy on this ferry, and this ferry ride and this wind reminds me of a story in the Bible about Jesus calming the storm, and you can find that story in the book of Matthew, in the book of Mark, and the book of Luke. So let's hear that story. Matthew chapter 8, verses 23 through 27. Jesus got into a boat. His disciples followed him. Suddenly, a terrible storm came up on the lake. The waves crashed over the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him up. They said, "Lord, save us. We're going to drown." Jesus replied, "Your faith is so small. Why are you so afraid?" Then Jesus got up and ordered the winds and the waves to stop. It came completely calm. The disciples were amazed. They asked, "What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him." So the waves were crashing, the wind was blowing, and it was really stormy out, and the disciples were getting scared in their boats. And I'm surprised they were scared. Now, I would be scared. I don't know about you, but I would be scared. I'm sure Matthew, the tax collector, was scared. But there were 4 fishermen as disciples. You had Peter, Andrew, James, and John. They were fishermen, and I'm sure they've been out in storms before, but they were all afraid. So what did they do? They saw Jesus sleeping. Jesus was not afraid. So they went to Jesus and they said, "Lord, save us. We're going to drown." They thought they were going to drown even with Jesus on the boat. But Jesus like, "You have little faith." So what did Jesus do? He got up, and what did he say? He ordered the winds and the waves to stop. And what did they do? They stopped immediately. Now, who can control the weather? Can I control the weather? Can the weatherman control the weather? No, only God. Remember, God created everything, and only God can change the weather or control the weather. So that shows us that through the miracles that Jesus has been doing in front of the disciples and everybody else, and through this miracle of stopping the wind and the waves, he shows us that he is God. One other thing about this story is the disciples knew that their salvation only comes through Jesus, because they went to Jesus and said, "Lord, save us." And so they know that their salvation only comes through Jesus, and our salvation only comes through Jesus, because who can save us? We can't save ourselves. The disciples couldn't save themselves on the boat. Only God can save us. So again, it shows us, who is Jesus? Jesus is God. Jesus is our Savior. And so let us all put our faith and our trust in Jesus. And so kids, this week, take out Jesus on a ferry ride. Read the story in Matthew 8, verses 23 through 27. And think about how God created all of this and how he has control over all of this. So remember to take out Jesus, and when you do, be sure to post a picture of him on the ferry on our Facebook page and hashtag it, hashtag Take Out Jesus. Have a great week, kids, and peace be with you. For our Jesus Calms the Storm story, we're going to make an origami boat. For this craft, you will need a plain piece of paper, and it's 8.5 by 11-inch paper, copy paper. You can do this in any color you like. I have a white piece of paper, a straw, some scissors, a hole punch, and another piece of paper, and I made one with a triangle on it, and that's going to be your sail. And I wrote on here, "Even the winds and the waves obey him," and that's from Matthew 8:27. So you can write that on your triangle, your sail, or you can just write Matthew 8:27, or you can write Jesus Calms the Storm. So let's get started. I'm going to take my plain piece of paper here, and I'm just going to take it and fold it in half this direction. There we are. And now I'm going to open it back up. So now I'm going to fold it in half this direction. And I'm going to fold it in half the way you would see it. Okay, so it's upside down for me, but this is the way that you're going to do it. This is kind of like making a paper airplane now. You're going to take this corner, and you have this crease that you made earlier, and you're going to take this and fold it right like this, so it's pretty much right on that crease. And like I said, it's kind of like making a paper airplane. So I'm going to take this corner and match it to that corner down there and make a nice little point at the top. There we go. And we're going to crease that down like that. Now you have this piece right here. You have a bottom piece and a top piece. I'm going to take this top piece and just fold it straight up like that. And then I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to take this same piece and I'm going to fold it up also. And now it kind of looks like a hat, doesn't it? All right, so now comes the tricky part. You're going to take these two bottoms, you're going to hold it in the middle on one side and hold it in the middle on the other side. And now you're just going to pull this apart so it kind of looks like a square. And you're going to take that piece and fold it down. And you're going to turn it over and do the same thing. Take that piece and fold it down. And you're just going to go through all your creases and make sure they're all nice and tight there. There. So now you have that. So now we're going to take this top piece, this corner, and take it to this corner. So we're just going to fold this in half, bring this corner up like that. And then we're going to turn this over. You're going to take this corner right there and bring it up to this corner. There we go. And then we're going to do this little tricky part again. You're going to hold on to the middle here and hold on the middle here. And you're going to take it apart like this. There. You're just going to pull it apart just like that. There, you're going to crease it all down. And then the next tricky part is you're going to put it up like this. You're going to have a little piece here. You'll see that these two pieces just kind of come apart. And you're going to pull those apart. And you're going to kind of crease it down like that. And there's your boat. You're going to pull it apart a little bit so it stands up. And there's your boat. Now we're going to put, this straw is going to be our mast, and that's going to hold up the sail. So to get this to go in there, we have to cut a little hole in this little top peak right there. And kind of make your hole kind of smaller than what you think you need, because it's easier to make the hole a little bit bigger than trying to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to cut a little piece off there. We'll see if that's going to be big enough. And we're going to take the straw and we're going to take it up from down here and push it up through there. And if it doesn't push up easily, oh, this one did. If it doesn't push up easily, you may not have made your hole big enough, so just make it just a tiny bit bigger. So there's our mast. And so now it's time to put on our sail. So like I said, you can just draw a triangle and cut it out. You can print one out like I did, and you can write on it, like I said, you can write on it, even the winds and the waves obey him, Matthew 8:27, or you can just write Matthew 8:27, or you can write Jesus calms the storm. And again, you can use any color paper you want. You can color your sail, you can color your boat. And I'm going to take my hole punch here, and I have these circles, so the top here and the bottom here, I want to give it a hole punch there and a hole punch there. And now we'll put this on our mast, just like this. And there is your origami boat that goes along with our story, Jesus Calms the Storm. I hope you enjoy this craft. I have a second craft for you that goes along with Jesus Calms the Storm story. And this time we're going to make a pool noodle boat. And this one actually floats in the water. And we're also going to, for this one, use a straw for our mast and the same triangle sail that we made for the origami boat. But you can make this with a pool noodle. So I have my pool noodle here. And you want to cut it about 6 inches long. And you're just going to take some scissors. So for this craft, you need some scissors. You also need a straw for the mast. And a piece of paper that you're going to cut out for your triangle, for your sail. So we're going to start cutting out, let's see. Yeah, that looks about 6 inches. So I just take my scissors and just kind of dig into the pool noodle. The pool noodle will, there we go. It'll cut up pretty well. It takes it a little bit, but you can get this cut up. There we go. Let's see if we can make it this way. Try to make sure I get it cut relatively straight. It's not always exactly straight. There we go. We'll use that pool noodle for another craft later. And now you have this pool noodle piece, and now you're going to want to take it and cut it along on both sides so it looks like this. See that? There we go. So just cut up like this. And I can only go so far with these scissors, and then I have to go from the other direction and meet in the middle somewhere. There we go. And then I want to figure out, I've cut it that lengthwise, as you see. So now I got to figure out straight on the other side is about right there. There we go. I'm going to turn around and do the same thing, figure out right about there, I think. There we go. And now you can make, whoops, that cut. Now you have 2 boats. There's our boats, and here's our mast. So you can just take your straw, and it'll actually poke right in there. You're going to give it a little bit. And if it doesn't really poke in too well, you can always take your scissors here and poke that in. There we go. And now we're going to take our sail here, and I'm going to cut it out, and just like on the origami boat, the same triangle, the same verse. So write on it how you'd like, and you can decorate it, use any color paper you want, color the paper. So we're going to do that. And now we need our hole punch. We forgot the hole punch. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my hole punch. So we're going to take our sail here, and we're going to punch a hole down at the bottom and punch a hole at the top. And then we'll put this on our mast, on our straw here. And there you have it, a pool noodle boat. And here's our boat here in my little bucket of water. So here's my boat in the water. And you can pretend you're the wind and blow it around. You can also make waves and blow it around. So that is our craft for our Jesus Calms the Storm. I hope you enjoy the craft.